What's going on, YouTube? So the Toyota RAV4 has established itself as an American favorite year after year in the compact SUV segment.
But now it's on the end of its run for this generation, and we want to know, is this still the #1 family pick?
Well, let's go ahead and find out. Now, starting out here under the hood for our spec dump, you continue on with the same 3 different powertrain selections. This is the standard gas-only option. It's a 2.5-liter 4-cylinder engine making 203 horsepower. That's going to be paired to an 8-speed automatic transmission. You have available all-wheel drive, and with all-wheel drive, this gets 28 mpg combined.
Now, of course, we'll be taking it out on a spin so you can see what that's like behind the wheel. While we're on that spin, we'll get things like our sound level reading so you can also see how quiet it is. After that, we'll discuss resale and reliability.
But let's go ahead and close up the hood, take a look at the exterior as well as the interior. Now, before I get into the exterior, I do want to mention a change for 2025 in preparation for that next generation product, which we expect to see probably in the next few months. They have discontinued 2 of the trim levels. That would be the TRD off-road trim and the adventure trim. So now if you want the ICE model, the gas model, you have just 4 trims to choose from. Now, in terms of what this trim is, this is the limited trim, so you'll continue to have that signature look, including the special silver finish on the grille as well as the silver accent on the bottom part. You will also find standard LED headlights across the entire RAV4 lineup. You have an LED turn signal indicator and daytime running light across the top, and then the XLE Premium and above will come with LED fog lamps. And then walking around to the back, of course, you'll continue to find that signature RAV4 boxy look. I actually think that the next generation RAV4 probably is going to stay with this same kind of theme.
I think so too, because it still looks really quite good. And as far as some of the design elements, we have a spoiler, wiper, and the Drew's hopping inside so we can check out our taillight unit. Now, the unit itself is going to be partially LED on all models, so you have an LED brake light portion and some LED accenting. Your reverse light and your turn signal will be incandescent on all trim levels, though. I do want to point out for the limited, you get this special piece in between the taillights that makes a little bit of a more expensive looking design. As we drop down, you're also going to find that piece down here on the limited as well as dual exhaust outlets. As far as your tow rating, 1,500 pounds.
Now, as far as your wheels are concerned, you'll continue to have several different selections. XLE Premium and Limited are going to share these 19-inch silver alloys. They have the more premium look matching with that grille. And then, of course, you have a little bit of the black trim around the wheel arches as well as the lower moldings. As far as the mirrors are concerned, blind spot monitoring is standard equipment. Obviously, these are heated as well, but the Limited does not include power folding or auto dimming.
Now, at the side of the RAV4, the overall vehicle length is about 181 inches. And I do want to point out, for those of you looking for a little bit of a spicier design, you can get a 2-tone roof option on something like the XSE hybrid model. Now, as far as your safety systems are concerned, this is a family vehicle after all, so Toyota is including all of those as standard equipment regardless of what trim level you choose. But guys, there's a really quite nice cabin on the inside, and we're going to see if there's anything new this year. But first, if you're new here, we're brothers, and we've been reviewing cars since we were 12
and 16. We may be young, but we love cars.
And we'd love for you to subscribe to be a part of our Car Confections family. Let's learn a lot, have some fun with all the latest cars.
Now, moving on to the interior. As always, we'll take a look at the key fob. Typical Toyota key fob on board. You have a smart entry system on all but the base trim. It's got RAV4 branding right there on the fob itself. And you can just reach behind the door handle to unlock the door. Now, taking a look at the interior of this top spec model, you'll notice that we have a lot of different kind of color combinations going on, especially when we're talking about these seats. So the base 2 trims will come with cloth seats, and then the XLE Premium and the Limited will come with this Softex faux leather. We've got the 2-tone finish here with these ash seats. I really like this overall look. It's definitely very premium looking, and this feels pretty realistic as well with the perforations running throughout. As far as the seats themselves, they are 8-way power adjusting with 2-way lumbar support on all with the base model, and then you will add memory seats to the equation when you choose the limited trim level. But let's go ahead and get inside. Now, when it comes to the rest of the RAV4's interior materials, things have been aging pretty gracefully. When you choose one of the upper trim models, you are going to get some additional luxury, including the full leather-covered door trim all through here, as well as the upper part in that faux leather. When we go to the upper part of the dashboard, this is a soft-touch plastic. You have more of the leatherette that runs through the center section with the stitching detail. And then as we move down to the lower panels, this part will not be padded no matter which trim that you choose. Let's go ahead and fire it up with our push-button start. And of course, let's go ahead and get into some of the individual features. So we'll start with our gauge cluster. Your lower trims come with a partially digital cluster and a 7-inch multifunction display. Your upper trims come with this 12.3-inch full digital cluster. It is reconfigurable as you would expect. A head-up display is not available on the RAV4. Now, as we pull back, of course, you've got the leather-wrapped steering wheel. Two features I want to point out are the fact that we have rain-sensing wipers and we have a heated steering wheel. Those are both available options in what is called the weather package, which is optional on most trim levels. Just be aware that the heating is just on the sides, not the top and the bottom. It is a manual tilt and telescoping steering wheel as well. Now, as far as interior storage, this has always been a strong area. Of course, that does continue for 2025. And inside of our center console, you'll notice that, as always, we have donuts inside because that is our logo and we want to test out the volume. Well, this will actually fit 10 donuts inside, so just short of the dozen donuts that is kind of our signature pass of the test, but this is pretty good for the segment. The cup holders are exceptionally deep. You have more storage up here in the front, which also doubles as a wireless phone charging pad. And then over here we have a nice passenger storage shelf with that brown lining inside. As far as the shifter is concerned, nothing complicated, just a traditional style. Pull back for drive, bump over here to the left if you want to shift manually through the gears. When we go into reverse, this is our standard backup camera. All the trims will come with this. We also have the active trajectory on board with this model, and if you want a 360 camera, that is an additional cost option on your upper end trim levels. Electronic parking brakes right next to that. It does have auto brake hold as well, and then your drive mode controller is right there. Now, as we rise above, let's take a look at our climate controls next. All but the base trim level will come with automatic climate. This is the dual zone automatic setup with these nice, easy to use knobs and full physical controls. No fiddly touchscreens or anything like that. Limited is the only trim level which will give you standard heated seats as well as standard ventilated seats. And heated seats are available on the other trims as well. Now, taking a look up here, we have a volume knob, which is going to control, in this case, our available JBL sound system. So with the limited trim, you do get the 11-speaker JBL sound system, and let's give it a sample right now. Yeah, this is probably worth choosing if you are big into audio. You'll want to upgrade up the trim structure because overall sound quality is certainly a big improvement over that standard sound system. All right, now moving into our infotainment system. Back when this model was refreshed, Toyota kind of enhanced the technology. This is the larger 10.5-inch display. It is standard on the limited trim level. And this does have Toyota's newest infotainment software as well, so everything is easy to use and nice and responsive. You do have wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay as well. The lower trims will come with an 8-inch display instead. Up top, the Limited includes the auto-dimming mirror with HomeLink remotes on board. You can also get the smart camera mirror as an option. And then I'll open up our sunroof here. You'll see that this is the standard size unit. Most models are going to come with this, but you can option on a panoramic sunroof if you prefer that instead.
Now let's talk about the rear seats of this RAV4. That's, of course, an important element for this vehicle because a lot of families are choosing to buy within this segment. So as far as the space, we'll discuss that first. We're going to be looking at about 38 inches of legroom and about 39.5 inches of headroom. The headroom figure is really quite impressive for this segment. The legroom is also pretty good, but it's not going to be as good as some of the options like Honda CR-V and some of the other bigger choices in the segment. That being said, I'm 5'9" for reference. This seat is adjusted to Drew, who is 5'8", and we're looking at about 7.5 inches of knee room between my knees and the seat. And we also do have room for my feet to slide up underneath of the seat. Speaking of the seats themselves, they do recline. It's not going to be quite as much as the CR-V for reference, but it does recline a pretty good distance to maximize comfort. And we also have a fold-down armrest with 2 cup holders inside. Now, as far as other features, here in the center, you'll notice that we have rear vents. Those are actually standard equipment on every single RAV4. That's nice, definitely on a cold day like today. And as we drop down to the center section, you'll find 2 charging USB ports as well. Now, if you look over at the door trim, I'm happy to tell you that most of it's going to be leatherette covered here on the limited model, so they're not shaping out on the materials too much. And then you'll find a really nice feature on a cold day like today. That's going to be your heated rear seats. That's something that a lot of the rivals are not including really as an available feature on any of the versions of the model. This is included with the limited with a optional package, so keep that in mind, though. Not very many of them will have it. Now, as far as the door storage, you can actually fit a pretty good-sized water bottle here in the door, no problem. Walking up to your tailgate, you're going to have a Power One starting at the XLE trim level, and then you do also have available foot activation, although that's an option even here on the Limited. Now, as far as the space is concerned, you're going to have quite a lot of space. About 38 cubic feet is what you can expect behind the second row of seats. If you fold them down, 69 cubic feet will be your maximum cargo capacity. That is going to be less than the CR-V, but that is going to be a very solid choice in the segment. Definitely better than Equinox, Mazda CX-50, Mazda CX-5. All those vehicles is going to be significantly better than, so a good amount, that's for sure. Hybrid models, if you're curious, are not going to lose really any space over the gas version, so keep that in mind as well. Now, when it comes to the seats, they fold 60-40 split. I do not have handles here in the back, so I will have to just reach up here and get those seats folded down. It's not too bad overall, although I will say if you're definitely on the shorter side, that will be a little bit of a more difficult setup than I'd like. Now, let me also go ahead and get our cargo measurements because this is a Car Confections review after all. So if you're looking to haul something specific, you might want to know how much length you have behind the seat adjusted to someone who is 5'8". About 75 inches is the answer to that. From behind the second row of seats, you can expect about 32 inches. As far as overall width, that's going to be about 42 inches wide. And then height is also going to be quite good, about 32 inches tall. So that's a good figure for this segment, that's for sure. If we lift up the cargo floor, you will find a spare tire. Well, guys, here we are behind the wheel of the 25 RAV4. In this test drive, we're going to be discussing all the things that you can see on the screen right now. We'll also be getting things like our sound level reading. But first, we want to go ahead and start with a hard acceleration.
And as quick as that, up to 60 miles per hour. Now, obviously, we were going downhill, but even the standard gas-only RAV4 does come with good horsepower figures. As we mentioned at the spec dump, this is a 2.5-liter 4-cylinder engine with 203 horsepower. Again, that is a good number for this segment of vehicle. Some of the newest competition, like Equinox, was something we spent a week with recently. That only has 175 horsepower, for example.
Yeah, it's also going to be more than the standard gas option on the CR-V as well. So really healthy numbers. As you can see from that acceleration right there, it is a very, pretty quick option, honestly, for the standard setup. Now, I will point out it is a little bit loud, especially when you do a more full throttle acceleration like that. So that's something to keep in mind. And They do offer two other variants with this RAV4. The hybrid, which actually I believe is about 40% of their sales, that has about 219 horsepower. So the hybrid actually has a little bit more power than this gas model.
And Mason was talking about the hybrid model. I do also want to point out you have the plug-in hybrid model as well. That was previously known as the Prime. They actually have changed that to just be called plug-in hybrid, I guess, to make it simpler for most people to understand what it is for 2025.
Yeah, and I do also want to point out, if you want reviews on any of those, we have reviewed the RAV4 Hybrid several times. We've also reviewed the RAV4 Plug-in Hybrid, or AKA back in the day it was called the Prime. So you can go watch those videos if you want specific information on that.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm sure we're going to pass by more than a few RAV4s during this test drive.
There's one. I already see it.
Yeah, actually, you guys can count how many RAV4s we passed by during this test drive and comment down below. I'm going to be very curious about it because this is a vehicle that is sold. In case you didn't know how many this sells, this sells about 500,000 per year, and this generation has been out for now, this is the 7th model year. So when you factor all that stuff in, there's going to be more than a few of these out on the road. Now, this version has an 8-speed automatic transmission. The hybrid versions come with eCVTs, so keep that in mind if you're someone who prefers the more traditional transmission experience. This is a nice and smooth transmission.
And as far as how the power is put to the ground, you have a standard front-wheel drive, available all-wheel drive, and that goes really for all of the trim levels. I do want to point out, if you choose the limited model, you do get a special torque vectoring all-wheel drive system, so keep that in mind. Fuel economy comes in at 28 mpg combined for the all-wheel drive version, or 30 mpg combined for the standard front-wheel drive option. I do want to point out, if fuel economy matters most to you, of course, the hybrid would be your better route, because that gets 40 mpg combined and has standard all-wheel drive. All right, but we are speeding up to our designated 55 miles per hour. We already have it toggled to fan speed 1, so we can go ahead and get our sound level reading in this RAV4 model. .6 is what we were sitting at before we started going up this hill, which of course will make the engine a little bit louder. That's going to be a decent sound level rating. We don't have to sit here and guess, though. We can go to carconfections.com/sound level readings and see how it compares to all of the numerous rivals. And that's definitely going to put it on the louder end of some of the options in the segment. It's also going to be a little bit louder than some of the other versions of the RAV4 that we've tested out. The Prime, or the plug-in hybrid model, is a little bit quieter, and the hybrid version we also found to be a little quieter as well. That makes sense because the engine is not necessarily running. But overall, a decently quiet cabin in this model. But really what I want to talk about now is overall ride quality, because I think that's a good element for this RAV4. They've definitely focused on making this a comfortable option in the segment, that's for sure. The seats I find to be quite nice, and when you hit a bump in the road, it does a great job of soaking it up as well. Really no complaints in this front. I will say maybe the CR-V I think rides slightly better in my opinion, but overall I'm very happy with it. Now let's dive into our Car Confections Slam Dunk and Airball. Drew, why don't you go ahead and kick us off with the Slam Dunk for this RAV4?
The Slam Dunk has got to be just how well this product has aged. This is still a super competitive product, and I think really when people are shopping for a compact crossover, this is a model that everybody is considering, basically.
Yeah.
And there's a good reason why. It just has aged so well. It's really remarkable that on its 7th model year, you should be thinking, wow, this thing is so old, but it just doesn't feel like that. It's still so competitive.
Yeah. On the airball side of things, really the main thing we could come up with to complain about is the fact that this thing is still quite expensive. That's for sure. It's definitely going to be on the higher end. If you get all the options that you can get on this, it's $45,000, maybe even $46,000 if you add a couple more accessories on there. So definitely a pricey option in this segment, and that really hasn't changed even despite it being 7 years old. Lastly, when it comes to your warranty, you have Toyota's Signature Setup, which is a 3-year 36,000-mile basic warranty, 5-year 60,000-mile powertrain. You do also get 2 years and 25,000 miles of complimentary maintenance. And now let's talk pricing for the RAV4. Now, the RAV4 does start at under $30,000, so $28,850 is your base LE front-wheel drive model. As you move up the trim structure for this gas model, you end at about $37,000 for the limited front-wheel drive. And as you can see today, we have a few options as well. So we have the limited all-wheel drive, so that adds a little bit of additional. It's a 2025 model year. $38,555 is our starting price after we add in some options, plus the $13,995 destination. $42,083 is what you can expect. If you're going to want a hybrid variant, you can get this vehicle in about $45,000 or more, and the Prime is even more expensive than that. Now, if you're looking to buy a Toyota RAV4 or any new vehicle, we would encourage you to go to carconfections.com/newcarquotes. Now, the reason you do that is because we have a tool on our website that'll connect you with local car dealers in your area to get you the best price. It's also going to give you access to invoice pricing information, which is a great tool for dealership negotiation. If you'd like to take advantage of that, a link is provided in our video description, and we also have a pinned comment at the top of this video. But buying a car is about more than just the original MSRP, so let's dive into resale and reliability. First up, let's talk about resale value. As an economics graduate myself, Drew and I took the time to develop what we think is a good estimate for this RAV4's potential resale value. We estimate that after 5 years and 60,000 miles, it'll be worth 64.5% of original MSRP, and after 10 years and 120,000 miles, 41.4%. Now, it's worth noting that is a fantastic resale value by percentage. It's one of the best in the 5-year metric, and it is also one of the best in the 10-year metric. It is really impressive stuff with this RAV4.
Now, we've also done the same for reliability by developing the Combined Reliability Index. This takes into account several studies from trustworthy sources on reliability and combines them in a way that gives you a more holistic picture. In this regard, Toyota is actually the #1 brand against all other vehicle makes.
Now, if you'd like to learn more about our resale values or reliability data, as well as our methodology, be sure to go to carconfections.com/resale and /reliability. Buying a new vehicle is a big decision, so you want to make sure you're making a smart purchase, especially if you're cross-shopping between different vehicle brands. And guys, that's going to be where we leave off on this in-depth review of the 2025 Toyota RAV4 Limited. If you enjoyed watching this video or found it helpful in your purchasing decisions, which we hope you did, we'd really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button down below. By subscribing, not only are you going to get car reviews like this, where we keep you informed on the latest model year updates, as well as some of the most popular products on the road, you're also going to be a part of our Car Confections family. We have a lot of fun on this channel. I promise you won't want to miss out. If you're already a part of our family, thank you so much for your continued support, and we'll catch you next time as we sample more of the latest automotive delicacies.